Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Yeah, you're watching Birdie. Actually, I wanted to post a different video first, but the weather made me unable to travel around because it's raining. It's not as heavy rain as in the Philippines, okay? It is not. But it's windy enough to make it feel really awful when you're walking and the rain is hitting you. Some more interesting video, I think, or maybe I believe this one will be interesting as well, but I think the next video will be quite fun. So stay tuned for the next video, okay? Thank you. Without any other further ado, I will just tell you what this video is about. You probably already checked out the title, so you know what the video will be about. But I will say it anyway. I want to talk about some funny/weird situations that happened to me in the Philippines. And I wrote them down in my lovely notebook. Let's take a pic. Woo! You didn't read it? Yeah. I'm in that kind of goofy mood. I think it's because those situations are quite funny and I find them really interesting. So let's start with the first one that comes into my head, and this is the tricycle rides. I have never ever seen a tricycle in my life, so don't be surprised that when I sat in the tricycle in that little cabinet, it was in pumps. And in Pampanga, in my eyes, comparing to other spots, those tricycles are quite tiny. So if a big man sits inside or a tall man sits inside, it only contains him, no one else. But a Filipino can fit more. And that's something also like quite funny for me to notice, that I wouldn't fit so many people inside, but you know, Filipinos are slim and they can fit in, so that's something that is quite surprising for me. However, coming back to the main story, so I sat inside the tricycle. There's a cat, sorry, I was looking at the cat. Inside the tricycle, and next to me was sitting Jericho's auntie. There was no door. Some tricycles has door. My first ever ride in a tricycle, it had no door at all, and the driver was driving so fast. Like, I felt it, like it was ultra mega fast. He drove so fast that I was holding auntie because she was sitting from the door. I was holding her so she will not fall out because there were like humps on the road, and we flew over those humps. And just to let you know, guys, I asked Jericho, my boyfriend, is it normal? Like, was this ride normal for him? Or did he also felt a bit odd about this ride? And actually he said that yeah, this Kuya was driving a bit fast for a tricycle driver. But the fun fact is that through all of that ride, auntie was just laughing about like, oh no worries Bea, it's okay Bea, it's okay, I'm fine. But I was terrified, okay? I was terrified that auntie will fall out. And that's one of the first funny situation that happened to me in the Philippines. Right on the same day, next thing that happened, and I think that it's not so funny. Okay, it's not so funny, but still, I will categorize it as a funny/weird because I don't know how else can I call it. With the tricycle ride, we went to wet market, and this was my first ever time to be on the wet market. I have never been there, so I was just like, oh my god, everything is new, everything is different. We don't do it like that in Poland. And then we're passing by the meat section, and out of nowhere, some lady fainted, and we turn around. Just so you know, this wet market is in the building, yeah? In the building. If you ever been in Pampanga, you know that it's hella hot. And wait, guys, I need to take care of the cat. Coming back to the story, it's in the building, yeah? Like walls, rooftop, and it's hot as hell because it's Pampanga. I feel like Pampanga is the hottest place in the Philippines so far for me. This lady fainted, and then there's like a gathering of people, the other sellers around her, and some of them are like using some cardboard to find her so she can feel better, she can gain her consciousness back. And there's this one lady, and that's something that kind of lost me. There was this one lady standing in front of her, just looking down at her with a cigarette, smoking. Like, I didn't understand a word, but she was there just smoking straight to the face of the lady that fainted. And there was someone with the water, someone who was like using the card box to, you know, give her some air. And then this crazy lady with a cigarette straight to the face of a person that fainted. Banda. Okay, I'm taking her out of here, guys. Say hello. Mabuhay. Ow. So this is the cut of my sister. So I'm back. That was one of the craziest and the weirdest story that happened in the Philippines for me. The lady gained the consciousness back, okay? In the next minute two, she gained her consciousness back. Everything was fine. She stood up. They took care of her. Everything ended up okay. The other thing that I would say that it was like quite weird. This one will be weird. I knew that Filipino loves karaoke. I know it, okay? Like, I get it. But Jericho's neighborhood, I think they're like way more in love with the karaoke than like a regular Filipino society, because those guys are like singing a lot through the day. And we had like this, I think this situation happened twice, that the whole day and then the whole night we heard the karaoke. And I was just mind blown. I was fully mind blown. It never happened to me. Like in Poland, when we go karaoke, we do a little like singing at home, maybe with like words on the phone and singing like hey. Or we go to the bar where there's a karaoke and like it's an open karaoke kind of thing like that. You sing and everyone else hear you. So not many people do that, okay? We don't have that confidence. But Filipinos and Filipinas, guys, you slay the karaoke. You are not afraid. You don't feel shy at all. You just sing your heart out. I don't have anything against it, but in the moment when we heard it like all day, then all night, and then in the morning someone else was singing karaoke for another like 5 hours, I was already done. I was already done. Yeah, that was just something crazy. That was something that I did not expect. I thought that like if you like karaoke, you do it for like a few hours and then you're done. But for those people, they sing until they lose their voices. I don't know if all of the Filipinos do that. I have no idea. Like, I don't want to say that, oh, this is a general thing. But I heard from many places that Filipinos love karaoke. And something that was also funny for me is that in most of the Filipino places, you will find this big speaker with a microphone for the karaoke. And that's a crazy thing. I never saw this kind of thing in Poland, okay? Like, never, ever. I had this kind of situation that one day, like, it was at the beginning of my stay. Jericho's family has this tindahan, and sometimes I know like, oh, pabili po, maghanok, mahal. Yeah, I know those words, okay? So, I was selling, there was some kids, and they asked me for chocolate. And I was like, why chocolate? Like, they want the chocolate from me. Like, they don't want to buy chocolate. They want me to give them chocolate. That's so random. Why the chocolate? And it's not like one kid, or like 2 or 3 kids asking me for chocolate. And I was like, but why? Well, why do you want bucket chocolate? And they said that I'm from America. That's why they want chocolate. And I'm like, what? Like, I still don't get the connection between America and chocolate. And then I tell them, I'm not American, guys. I'm not. And they're like, are you Japanese? And I was like, me and Jericho, we couldn't understand why those kids think I'm Japanese. And I'm still trying to figure out why did they think that way. I don't look anyway like Japanese. And with that accent, we go to another point that just surprised me in the Philippines, which is that rice everywhere. And that's something that I found really weird. That the first thing in the morning that my boyfriend eats, and his family most of the time, is rice. Then we have lunch, we eat rice. And then we have supper/dinner, and we eat rice. And for my first 2 weeks above, like I think for the first month, my belly felt so heavy with all of the rice, like 3 meals a day, rice. I felt it really heavy, like my belly was unable to digest it properly, but everyone around was feeling fine and doing well, and I was like, oh, guys. Everyone says that potatoes are heavy on the belly, but the truth is, it's rice which is heavy on the belly. Like, I couldn't digest it that well. Like, I felt heavy and bloated for like a whole month. But thankfully, Auntie decided to save my life, and she, from time to time, she just bought some pandesal. When she learned that I love bread, and I'm like a bread eater, she was buying pandesal. Pampanga pandesal is really nice. Pandesal there is quite big, so you don't have to buy a lot. You can just buy 2 and you'll be full, especially with the ube jam. I had no idea that there's something called ube, and what does the ube do, and what is it, the ube. But ube is a good thing. I love ube, okay? Everything with ube, my eyes on it. I love it, okay? Thank you. Okay, but like I already drift off the topic, so we're going back to the things that I find weird and funny. One of the days when I was going to the vegetable store, to my lovely vegetable Kuya, so I was just walking there. There was some Kuya on the tricycle. I have no idea who's this guy. I have never met him. Like, in this little society that I've been to, I already know, maybe not by the name, and maybe I didn't speak with them, but I know the faces of everyone. And this Kuya, I had no idea who is he. So he had this black tricycle, and he just stopped at the turn when I was passing by, and he was like, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And I was like, "Hello, Kuya, I'm good." He was like, "How do you like Philippines?" He was really excited. He was like, "How do you like Philippines?" I was like, "Yeah, I enjoy it a lot, Kuya. I enjoy it. How long are you here?" I've been like, I don't know, maybe 5 months in. I was like, "Oh, 5 months, Kuya." He's like, "Oh, that's quite a lot. Enjoy." And he drove away. And basically, that was like a quite sweet moment, a heartwarming moment, a cute moment, but also funny because I have never met this guy. He was just so lovely and so cute. And then when I approached the tindahan, Jericho's tindahan, and they saw that interaction, so I asked Ate and Kuya, like, "Oh guys, do you know him?" And they were like, "No, we don't. We thought that you know this guy. How do you know him?" And I'm like, "I don't know him. He just spoke to me. I wanted to be nice." Because whenever someone will approach me in the neighborhood of Jericho, I will always be interacting with those people, speak back and so on, because I think that they know Jericho's family. So I do my best to be super polite and remember to call them Kuya, Ate, Tita, Tito, and so on. Outside, I would also speak to people. Like, I made a lot of friends in the Philippines, but that's not a topic. So I do my best to be polite. So when this Kuya approached me, I was just talking to him like in the regular way that I would speak with anyone else in the neighborhood. But it turned out that no one knows this Kuya, and I have never ever seen that man again in my life. But that was really cute and that was really lovely. It was funny, but it was so heartwarming and so lovely that I just remember it. Another story. Once when Jericho and we traveled with Gian and Cla, we were traveling with to Memekamol. The weird thing here, besides the buses that stop wherever, which was quite weird for me because the Polish bus will never do that, but not weirder than the situation that happened. We were standing and there was a traffic and someone get in, and yeah, that's normal. Okay, I already accept that there is like guys selling the peanuts and cashews. That's okay. But there was a lady that entered the bus and started singing and like giving everyone like some cards, like some paper, like handwritten paper thing, and I don't understand what's written there. I don't get it. She gave it to me and I was like, I'm giving it to Jericho, but Jericho doesn't want it. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I think I gave it to his sister. And I was like, what's going on, guys? They were laughing like really badly because I was just so disoriented. I was like, guys asking like, what's going on? What's going on? What is it? What's it happening? Like, this lady is singing here out of nowhere and a bit out of tune. So I was just like also trying to understand if they enjoy it, like if everyone here enjoys it. I was like, what do we do? And it turns out that this lady is there to make money, and after she stopped singing, she walked around and she collected the papers with the money from people. And I was like, that's something that I will say it's purely a funny / weird for me. Like, I never ever experienced this kind of thing in my life, and that's just interesting. That was interesting. And I believe the next time when I'll be in the Philippines, something like that will happen again. So it will no longer be weird, it no longer be funny and surprising. It will be just something that, oh, I understand, this is how it goes. Like, some people make money in that way and like we accept it in the society, it's fine. That was interesting experience. The next thing that I really find funny and something that confused me a lot at the beginning is that I had many situations at the beginning when I would ask my boyfriend, where is XYZ? Or where this, where that, and yeah? And he wouldn't answer. He will just be quiet. And you know, in my family, we say things, we point sometimes like, oh, it's there. Or like, we'll be like, oh, there, like with the hand. Like when our hands are busy and we don't have enough words to express what it is, we'll be like, oh, there. But in the Philippines, people will be like, and when you don't know about it and you're just sitting, or like you're not facing that person, you're asking, oh, handban, where is the towel? And your handban will be just like, you don't know. Like, I was so many times I was just confused. I was asking until he will tell it to me, and then he just like, after a few times when me not getting it, he explained that like, oh, I show it my lips, why don't you get it? I'm like, because he didn't know I have to look at your lips. That was surprising. And now when I look back at it, like, it is funny, like, when I think about those things. But in that moment, it was quite frustrating and quite weird for me that people will not, like, pointing, like, they will not, you know, like, point with their head, and they will not say it. They will be like, yeah. And I know a lot of Filipinos are guilty of that. So if you're guilty of that, comment that lip emoji. Is there anything funny that happened to me? I think there's a lot of things that were funny that happened to me, but I just cannot recall them anymore. I was thinking about it yesterday at the evening before sleeping. But basically, that's all that I came up this time. So next time when I'll be in the Philippines, I bet there'll be more funny stories to share with you guys. But so far, this is all I can share with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. And see you next time. Sending a lot of love. Bye-bye.